They thought you would never know. They thought their whispers would dissolve in the shadows, hidden behind walls, safe in secrecy. But destiny is not silent, and truth has a way of breaking through the darkest corners. Chosen one, your name now carries a weight they cannot bear. Once it was spoken with arrogance, with mocking tones, with cruel laughter that cut into your spirit. Now, when it rises in their conversations, it trembles. Their voices crack, their eyes shift, their silence screams louder than their words. They mocked your vision, they laughed at your faith, they placed their bets on your destruction. And yet here you stand, not just surviving, but transformed into something undeniable. Every sentence they are forced to utter about you tastes like poison in their mouths. What they say in secret is not admiration, it is devastation. Because with every syllable they confess the truth they fought so hard to deny. They were wrong about you. And that confession burns them from the inside, leaving them restless, haunted, and exposed. Chosen one, this is the moment where heaven itself confirms that your story could never be buried by their disbelief. They thought they were writing your ending, but you became their mirror, reflecting their own emptiness back at them. And that reflection is destroying them piece by piece. If this message resonates with your spirit, pause now and declare your alignment. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and type 99 in the comments. Because 99 is the spiritual seal of divine completion, signifying that no matter what they whisper in secret, your victory is already finished in the unseen realm once. Your very name was enough to spark amusement. Rooms would vibrate with mockery when you were not present to defend yourself. Your struggles, your missteps, your ambitions, they twisted them into cheap entertainment, fuel for their shallow egos. You became the convenient story to tell when they wanted to feel bigger. They thought your existence was a stage for their laughter, but something changed. The atmosphere has shifted. That laughter has been choked out of the air, replaced by a silence so thick it makes the walls heavy. Now, when your name is mentioned, no one dares laugh. The jokes that once rolled easily off their tongues have turned into stones too heavy to lift. What once was their weapon has become their chain. Why? Because silence is never empty, it is loaded. It is a signal that the game is over, that the narrative they built no longer works. When they hear your name now, they don't see a target. They see a mirror. They see proof that all the venom they spit at you didn't break you. It built you. And that realization swallows their words before they can even form. They open their mouths, ready to joke, but the words die in their throats. They glance at each other, waiting for someone to take the lead in tearing you down again, but no one dares. Because the world around them has shifted too. Those who once joined in the mockery now hesitate. They've seen what you've become, and suddenly the laughter doesn't feel safe anymore. It feels cruel, it feels false, and deep down, it feels dangerous. That silence is not peace. It is pressure. It burns them because they know it carries the weight of confession. Silence confesses what mouths refuse to admit, that you proved them wrong. Every time your name arises in their circle, their minds replay the things they once said. The jokes, the insults, the curses, they echo back like ghosts, each one testifying against their blindness. They can't escape the record of their own cruelty. Their memories are now their accusers, and the silence is the courtroom where judgment is passed. For you, chosen one, this silence is sacred. It is not emptiness, it is victory clothed in quietness. The absence of laughter is the presence of truth. You no longer exist as their entertainment. You exist as their evidence. Evidence that destiny cannot be mocked. Evidence that a soul aligned with heaven cannot be crushed. Evidence that every laugh at your expense was nothing more than a prophecy of their own blindness. And here is the irony. They thought their laughter made them powerful, but it was only a mask hiding their weakness. Now that the mask has slipped, all that remains is silence, and that silence terrifies them. Because silence forces them to feel what they fear most, the truth. That they wasted their voices on destruction, while you used your silence to build strength. Imagine the tension in that room when your name comes up now. Eyes shifting. Breathing shallow. A weight no one wants to acknowledge pressing down on every chest. Someone dares to ask, "How's he doing?" And the room freezes. No one wants to answer. Because to admit you're thriving is to admit their predictions were wrong. To speak of your success is to tear down their own credibility. So they stay quiet, and that quiet is louder than thunder. Chosen one, Do you see what has happened? You have turned their laughter into a grave where their pride is buried. You have transformed their stage into a silence they cannot control. That silence is their confession. That silence is their torment. That silence is the proof that heaven flipped the script. And here is the question that lingers, the one that keeps them awake at night. If their laughter could not stop you, what comes next that they will be powerless to prevent? Pay attention, because this is where the story takes a darker turn. When mockery no longer works, when silence becomes unbearable, they resort to their final trick, rewriting history. Suddenly, the very people who mocked your voice now claim they always believed in you. The same ones who swore you would never make it now smile and insist they saw your potential from the beginning. Listen closely to their words. Chosen one, they are not confessions of truth. They are attempts at escape. They twist their old insults into jokes that were never serious. They disguise their contempt as tough love. They try to paint themselves as silent supporters who were cheering for you behind the scenes. But the truth is sharper than their lies. Screenshots exist. Memories remain. Witnesses remember the venom. Truth has no eraser. This desperate rewrite is not about you, it is about them. They are terrified of being seen for what they are, blind, cruel, and wrong. They cannot stand the humiliation of having predicted your failure while you now shine in undeniable success. So they attempt to rewrite the script, to cast themselves as the wise ones who always knew. But their acting is poor, their performance transparent. Everyone sees through it, and worse, so do they. Every false claim they speak only magnifies their shame, because deep inside they know the record cannot be erased. They know you remember. They know others remember, and memory is stronger than their lies. What burns them most is that the narrative no longer belongs to them. Once they controlled the story of who you were. They labeled you, mocked you, framed you as the example of what not to be. But destiny ripped the pen from their hands. Now they are scrambling, desperate, like thieves trying to cover their tracks after being caught in the act. The irony is brutal. Their attempt to save face only exposes their naked desperation. Their voices shake as they try to sound confident, but every word trembles with guilt. Their laughter used to be a weapon, but now their revisionist history is a shield full of holes. And here is the revelation. The world is watching. People remember exactly what was said, who said it, and how it was said. Some laughed with them once, but now those same witnesses can't deny your transformation. So when these enemies try to rewrite the past, their lies collapse under the weight of public memory. Didn't you say he'd never make it? Someone asks, and silence falls again. They stutter. They deflect. They claim it was just a misunderstanding, but the damage is done. Their credibility crumbles, and their attempt to rewrite history becomes the very proof of their dishonor. Chosen one, their desperation is the ultimate confession. If they truly believed in their own words, they would not need to rewrite them. If they were confident in their past judgment, they would stand by it. But they cannot. They flee from their own record like fugitives from justice. Every fake story they invent is evidence of the shame burning inside them. Their faces betray them. The forced smiles, the awkward laughs, the quick changes of subject. You can see the torment in their eyes when they try to pretend they were on your side all along. And here is where it gets even more powerful. You don't need to expose them. You don't need to waste energy calling out their hypocrisy. The truth exposes itself. Time has already revealed who you are, and their desperate rewrites only highlight who they are. They cannot bury the truth, because the truth is standing in front of them. You. Your life is the record. Your transformation is the evidence. Every step forward you take makes their lies look smaller. Every victory you manifest makes their stories sound emptier. Imagine this scene. Someone casually brings up your success. A business launch, a breakthrough, a blessing. Suddenly, one of your former enemies speaks up with a fake smile, saying, "Oh, I always knew he had it in him." But someone in the room raises an eyebrow. Someone else remembers the words that person once said. "Didn't you laugh when he failed?" The air shifts. Their face reddens. They scramble for excuses. "Well, I didn't mean it that way. I was just joking. You misunderstood." But no one is convinced. Their attempt to rewrite history backfires, leaving them exposed as liars, opportunists, and frauds. And here is the part they fear most. Deep down, they know that their lies cannot erase what heaven has already written. Your story is eternal. Your transformation is undeniable. They can twist words, they can fake smiles, they can rewrite history, but they cannot rewrite destiny. And destiny is on your side. So, chosen one, stay alert. Do not be fooled by their sudden compliments or their fake support. They are not celebrating you, they are protecting themselves. They are trying to cover the shame of having stood against you. They are desperate to look wise when the whole world knows they were blind. And here is the small twist that keeps them awake at night. The more they try to rewrite history, the more they reveal the truth they are trying to hide. Now pause and let this sink in. If they are already this desperate to rewrite your past, what will they do when your future unfolds in ways even greater than they ever imagined? There is no torment sharper than being forced to praise the very person you once tried to destroy. For your enemies, every word of acknowledgement is a knife that cuts their pride into pieces. They do not congratulate you with joy. They choke out their words with pain. Their mouths speak, but their bodies betray them. The twitch of an eye, the clench of a fist, the subtle shake in their voice. It is the language of suffering, because recognition is not their choice. It is their sentence. Understand this. When they admit your success, they are not really talking about you. They are confessing their own failure. They failed to see what heaven saw in you. They failed to stop the destiny written over your life. They failed to keep you trapped in the box they built for you. Every time they are forced to recognize your growth, it feels like they are signing a declaration of their own defeat. And that reality gnaws at them day and night, consuming the edges of their confidence until nothing remains but the ashes of regret. Picture it. A group of people sitting together, your name rising unexpectedly in conversation. Once, this was their favorite moment, a chance to laugh, to dismiss, to minimize. But now, someone asks a simple question. Have you seen what he's doing lately? The atmosphere shifts. No one wants to answer first. They exchange uneasy glances, searching for an escape. Until one of them, cornered by silence, mutters, "Yeah, he's actually doing well." The words are heavy, dragged out of their throat like shards of glass. And the room knows. It is not admiration, it is surrender. That is the agony of forced recognition. It strips away their illusions and exposes them to themselves. Because in admitting your rise, they admit their blindness. They admit that while they wasted their breath tearing you down, you used your breath to build. While they mocked your discipline, you sharpened it. While they invested energy in hatred, you invested energy in transformation. And now the contrast is undeniable. Their envy grows not just because you won, but because they realize you won without them, and in spite of them. It is not simply about your victory, it is about their reflection. Recognition forces them to look in the mirror and confront a devastating truth. If you could rise from the ashes, then they had no excuse for staying stuck in their mediocrity. Your success highlights their stagnation. Your light exposes their darkness. Your progress screams at their passivity. And this revelation is unbearable, because it is easier to pretend you never succeeded than to face the shame of their own wasted years. But heaven has left them no choice. Your success is too visible. Your growth is too obvious. Their silence cannot cover it, so they are forced to speak, and speaking is agony. Some try to soften the blow with backhanded compliments. They say, "Well, good for him, I guess." Or, "She's doing fine, but it won't last." Their tone reveals the bitterness they cannot hide. Others speak with false enthusiasm, smiling too wide, laughing too loud, overcompensating to mask their discomfort. But behind their eyes burns the same truth. They are bleeding inside. Because every acknowledgement, whether reluctant or exaggerated, is a confession that their words, their doubts, their attacks, all failed, and here lies the deepest wound. They know that you didn't need their validation. You didn't beg them to see your worth. You didn't rise to prove them wrong. You rose because greatness was already in you. That is what makes their recognition so excruciating. It is irrelevant to you, yet mandatory for them. They must admit what you don't even need to hear. That is humiliation at its purest form. Think about it, chosen one. You walk into a room, radiant with the light of transformation, and they freeze. Some lower their eyes, others look away, a few force a brittle smile. But in that moment, their very posture screams louder than words. They see you. They can no longer deny what stands before them. Their voices tremble not because of what you are, but because of what they are not. You have become the evidence of what persistence, faith, and divine timing can accomplish. And they cannot handle it. This is why they avoid direct encounters with you. This is why they change the subject when your achievements come up. This is why their hands tighten when someone else praises you. Because recognition is their punishment, their sentence, their curse. And the more undeniable your growth becomes, the heavier that curse grows. So, chosen one, let this truth strengthen you. Their recognition is not your validation, it is their judgment. It is proof that heaven has shifted the balance, that destiny has silenced the mockery and forced their tongues to confess what their hearts refuse to accept. They may never say it to your face, but in secret, in whispers, in trembling tones. They are being broken by the weight of your victory. And here is the thought that keeps them awake at night. If they are already in pain from admitting what you've done so far, how will they survive when they see what's coming next? When silence didn't protect them, and when forced recognition ripped their pride apart, they tried a different tactic. Behind closed doors, in whispered conversations, they became investigators, secret detectives, obsessed analysts of your life. They needed an explanation, because in their minds, your rise could not be natural. It could not be the result of your own persistence, your own faith, your own endurance. No. They needed to believe there was a hidden hand pulling strings for you. So they searched. They dug into your past. They scrolled endlessly through your history. They monitored your every step, desperate to uncover the shortcut that would explain everything away. They asked questions about you in circles where they thought you had no ears. They stalked your presence online, dissecting your pictures, your posts, your words, hoping to catch a glimpse of something that would expose you. They scoured your timeline for cracks, failed relationships, financial struggles, personal missteps, anything that could serve as ammunition to tear down the story of your rise. They waited for a scandal, a slip, a shadow. But what did they find? Nothing. No secret benefactor. No hidden inheritance. No powerful hand carrying you to victory. Only one thing, your work. Your relentless, unseen, uncelebrated work. And that truth devastated them more than any weapon you could have wielded. Because if you had cheated, they could have dismissed you. If you had received special help, they could have minimized you. If you had been lifted by luck, they could have mocked you again. But what they discovered was worse for their pride. You built this. Every victory was carved with your own hands. Every step forward was earned with sacrifice, tears, and unshakable determination. There was no scandal to expose, only strength to respect. And respect is the last thing they wanted to give. Do you see the irony, chosen one? While they wasted their days tracking your life, you were too busy transforming to notice. While they were looking for shortcuts in your story, you were walking the long road of destiny without complaint. And their investigations became their curse, because the more they searched, the more undeniable your authenticity became. Every unanswered question haunted them. How did he get here? Where did she find this strength? They tore through your story like scavengers, and every page they read only confirmed the truth. You were real. Your rise was real. Your transformation was real. This is why their frustration multiplies. Because exposure was supposed to bring them relief, but exposure only exposed them. They became detectives chasing shadows, but all they uncovered was their own envy. They wanted proof of your weakness, and instead they found proof of your greatness. They wanted evidence of fraud, and instead they found evidence of faith. And this discovery was not gradual, it was brutal. Every time they came up empty, it was like a blow to the stomach, a reminder that while they were searching for dirt, you were building an empire out of light. Some even tried to question those around you. There must be someone helping him. There has to be something we don't see. They spread rumors in desperation, hoping that if they couldn't find evidence, they could invent it. But lies crumble under the weight of truth. People can sense authenticity, and your authenticity was undeniable. They had nothing. No dirt, no scandal, no shortcut. Only a story too powerful for them to rewrite. And that story is what torments them most, because it proves that while they burned energy attacking you, you invested energy transforming. They see now that their hatred was their distraction, their excuse for not growing. And every time they look at your progress, they are reminded of their own stagnation. And here is the final twist, the one that stings the most. Their investigations only made your light brighter, because the harder they looked, the more undeniable your authenticity became. Their envy became testimony. Their searching became proof. Their failure to find flaws became the evidence of your integrity. They thought they would expose you. Instead, they exposed themselves as bitter, small, and powerless. Chosen one, let this revelation sink deep. Their investigations are not a threat to you. They are a weapon turned against themselves. For every lie they searched for, they found truth. For every weakness they wanted, they discovered strength. For every failure they expected, they stumbled upon victory. And now, they live with the torment of knowing that the rise they tried to discredit was not only real, but unstoppable. And the question that now lingers in their minds, the question they dare not speak aloud but cannot silence, is this: if all their searching revealed nothing but your authenticity, what new level will you ascend to next? One they will be even less prepared to explain. Here lies the deepest wound, the final blow that their pride cannot recover from. You no longer see them. You don't fight them. You don't respond to them. You don't even waste energy remembering them. You simply evolved beyond their reach. And that is the devastation they never prepared for. Not your rise, not your victories, not even your recognition, but your indifference. Because hatred still gives them relevance, but indifference erases them completely. In the past, they thrived on your reactions. Every time you defended yourself, they fed on it. Every time you cried, they savored it. Every time you tried to prove yourself, it validated their role in your story. They loved being the villain because villains at least matter. But now, Chosen One, you strip them of even that. Your silence is louder than 1,000 arguments. Your calm is sharper than any revenge. Your indifference is the ultimate annihilation. Imagine how it burns them. They spent years studying your weaknesses, laughing at your struggles, investing energy in tearing you down. And now, you don't even remember their names. They stalk your victories in secret, but you don't check for theirs. They wait for you to stumble, but you don't even notice their existence. To you, they are ghosts, shadows fading in the distance. And nothing kills an enemy faster than realizing they were never strong enough to leave a scar. This irrelevance is psychological torture. Because as long as you hated them, they mattered. As long as you defended yourself, they had a role. But when you stopped caring, their identity collapsed. Who are they without your reactions?
Who are they without your energy?
They are extras in a story that no longer features them. They are background noise in a song that has moved on to a higher frequency. And the silence of your indifference is deafening. Understand this. Indifference is not weakness. Indifference is power. It means you are no longer chained to their narrative. You are not wasting your destiny trying to prove something to people who could never see it. You are walking in purpose so boldly that their opinions are dust beneath your feet. That is why they cannot stand it. Because they realize that all their weapons only mattered as long as you cared. And now that you don't, their arsenal has turned to ash. Some of them will still try to provoke you, desperate for a spark of the old you. They'll send subtle jabs disguised as humor. They'll drop your name in conversation hoping for a reaction. They'll even pretend to support you just to feel connected to your shine. But when you remain unmoved, when you continue smiling, thriving, elevating, it crushes them. Because the one thing they cannot control is your refusal to notice. And here is the bitter truth they will never admit. Being hated by you would hurt less than being ignored by you. Hatred still means they live rent-free in your mind. Indifference means they don't even exist in your world anymore. And to a heart fueled by envy, that is the most excruciating punishment of all. So, Chosen One, let this revelation empower you. Your greatest revenge was never revenge at all, it was evolution. The moment you stopped trying to prove, you proved everything. The moment you stopped defending, you won every argument. The moment you stopped noticing, you erased them from the story. And now they are haunted not by your words, not by your anger, but by your absence. Every time they see you rise higher and realize you didn't even think of them along the way, it crushes them. Every celebration you live without their presence is a funeral for their pride. Every victory you achieve without acknowledging their existence is a reminder that they wasted their years investing in your destruction instead of their own growth. And here is the small but piercing question echoing in their minds, the one that keeps them restless in silence. If you already destroyed them by ignoring them, what will happen when the whole world starts ignoring them too? Chosen one, lean in and hear this, because it is not just a message. It is a decree over your life. You became the very nightmare they never thought possible. The living proof that their words were powerless, their laughter meaningless, their predictions empty. You rose not quietly, but unshakably. And now, every secret conversation about you is a battlefield they cannot win. Their whispers are poisoned with regret. Their silence is heavy with surrender. Their forced respect is the loudest confession of all. But here is the revelation. You don't need their recognition. You never did. Your growth is not up for debate. Your success is beyond reversal. Your presence is a fire that cannot be dimmed. You are walking evidence that destiny cannot be mocked, that what heaven writes cannot be erased, that no amount of envy can choke what was divinely planted in your spirit. Feel this truth sink into your bones. You are unstoppable. You are untouchable. You are undeniable. Every tear you shed became the ink that rewrote your story. Every attack they launched became fuel for your transformation. Every whisper against you became the echo of their own downfall. You are not just surviving. You are reigning in the space they swore you would never reach. And now I speak this into your life. The tables have turned permanently. The mockery has died. The silence of your enemies has become your crown, and the world will never again see you as who you